with this approach, we can be sure that we will reach a conclusive end. It can't be an open-ended thing. And I was confident of progress we could make within the next 2 weeks. That was why I said the interim report should be ready within 2 weeks. And I still stand by that. So in 2 weeks, I should be able to gather all of us together and say, this is where we are. And this is the progress we have.
So we're coming back in 2 weeks. We are coming back in 2 weeks. Yes. By then, the autopsy would have been done. Maybe results would have been out. And maybe they would have arrested or declared wanted or extradited something.
Sure. You'll be welcome.
tó ẹ káàbọ̀ padà ní báyìí wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjókòó yìí o níbi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ti fẹ́ wáyé lónìí ẹ já lọ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn lọ́hùn bá padà dé kí máṣù kò gbà yín lákòókò a ó tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò ó ti yá ẹ já lọ.
On the allegations raised in one of the videos by the deceased about his experience when he was arrested. We also forwarded investigation letters to Nigeria Medical Association, the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, with a view to getting their expert opinion on the conduct and processes of the principal suspect, the auxiliary nurse, in attending to Mohbad. Letters were also dispatched to the CMD, Cornerstone Hospital, Akute, Ogun State, to clarify the role of the hospital in the training of the principal suspects. And from the inquiries we she's not just an auxiliary nurse. Currently, she has no job, so she operates from home to attend to anybody. So she's a quack, by our own definition, who is a freelancer. Letters were also dispatched to Nigeria Immigration Service. Investigation was extended also to CMD Kuramed Hospital and the CMD Perez Hospital, where the lead singer was taken to as brought in dead. Statements were recorded from them and their staff. Crime scene visits. Detectives have also visited the residence of the deceased at Lekki. The intention was to review the CCTV footage in the house. Unfortunately, the CCTV was out of order. It's not been functional even before this incident. However, the visit led to the recovery of remnants of drugs and injections and other test kits administered by the auxiliary nurse, including 1 tetanus toxoid injection, 3 used syringes, 2 used syringes filled with suspected medicine content, 1 packet of ceftriaxone solution, procaine penicillin injection, empty broken pack of diclofenac injection, paracetamol diluted with water, water for injection, 6 hand gloves, 1 bandage, 1 plaster, and 1 iodine solution. Also separately recovered is the mobile phone of the deceased. All have been registered as exhibits. We also visited, the investigation team also visited Kuramed Hospital, Perez Hospital, Chandelier Nightclub, VI, which represents one of the scenes where the deceased in the viral video was aimed at obtaining expert opinion in the likely cause of death of Mohbad through a professional review of the actions of auxiliary nurse Feyisayo Ogedengbe, the principal suspect. On 27 6 September 2023. A team of medical doctors, pharmacists, and critical evidence of high prosecutorial value has been submitted. It specifically identifies some illegal acts and professional negligence in the manner the drugs were administered.
Nigeria Police Force Medical Services jointly interviewed the auxiliary nurse. They have the competence, knowledge, brief, or certification to diagnose, prescribe, or administer drugs and injections on patients. As she was supposed to work under the directive and supervision of a qualified medical between the medical and the death of Mohbad. Sequence of events directly accounting for the death of Mohbad. Based on investigation, this represents the sequence of events that eventually culminated in his death. On 10th September 2023, Ireoluwa Oladimeji Aloba, aka Mohbad, attended a musical concert at Ikorodu Town Hall at about 21:00 hours on the invitation of one Sobere to promote the General Bitters beverages, which is marketing. Mohbad arrived the venue of the event at about 19:00. His childhood friend, Ibrahim Oluwatosin Owodunni, prime boy, and Mohbad's personal assistant, Adeyemo Boluwatife, alias Darosa, all of whom were in the Prado Jeep, which was hired by Mohbad for the events and driven by Felix, a sample. Others that accompany Mohbad in separate vehicles include Ayobami Sadiq, Spending, Aduragbe Shedrack Aloba, who is the younger brother of Mohbad, Ajisegiri Sultan Ayobami, Mohbad's DJ, Aderinto Fawaz Ademola. Other musical acts that performed along with Mohbad at the show included Zlatan, Seun Kuti, and DJ Fokati. At the end of his performance at about 23:00 hours, as he made to exit the venue with his entourage, he discovered that his vehicle had been blocked by other vehicles, while some of his fans and area boys also moved him. Mohbad, who from witnesses' evidence was said to be tipsy and hyperactive, became infuriated, and as he attempted to come down to clear the road, Ibrahim, his friend, prevailed on him not to do so, and physical fights. In the course of an attempt by Mohbad to hit Ibrahim with a blow, Mohbad missed him and smashed his hand against the window of their Prado Jeep, causing him an injury on his forehand, and he bled profusely. Eventually, the situation was brought under control, and they all departed for the Lekki residence of Mohbad, excluding Ibrahim. Upon arrival at home at about 02:00 hours of 11 September 2023, Mohbad refused to go to the hospital to treat his injury despite persistent persuasion by his wife, staffs, and friends, including the Prado Jeep driver, whose vehicle was damaged. Later in the day, the injured hand, which was still bleeding on the second day, started getting swollen, causing Mohbad unbearable pains. This is the injury. You may also pass it on. How it got swollen by the second day. So at this point, his friend Ayoba Mr. Dick Spending, who noticed the increasing pains, further insisted that he must go to the hospital for treatment. Mohbad still resisted and opted to call his personal nurse, identified as Nurse Funmi, who unfortunately was not available. At this point, Ayoba Mr. Dick Spending offered to call his own nurse to attend to Mohbad. That nurse turned out to be the auxiliary nurse, Ms. Feisayo Ogedenge, a suggestion that Mohbad consented to. When Ms. Feisayo was contacted at about 14:30 hours on Monday, 11 September 2023, she was unavailable but promised to come the following day, being Tuesday, 12 September 2023. Ahead of her arrival, she requested that the picture of the swollen hand stroke injury area be videoed and snapped and sent to her for assessment to guide on the medication to come along with. This was eventually done. At about 14:35 hours on 12 September 2023, Ms. Feisayo eventually arrived armed with one pack of cetrazone injection, one vial paracetamol injection, tetanus toxoid injection, one vial procaine penicillin injection, 7 ampoules of diclofenac, tincture iodine, several needles, and syringes. Ms. Feisayo administered the tetanus toxoid on the arm of Mohbad and gave both the paracetamol and that Mohbad started vomiting, while goose pimples appeared on his face and all over his body. At this point, it dawned on Ms. Feisayo that Mohbad was reacting to the administered medications. She consequently ran out to procure hydro and Nizafene infusion. While at the pharmacy in the locality, she got a call that Mohbad had started convulsing. Eventually, Cynthia Omoduni Adebanjo Adura Abeni Shedrack Aloba Zion rushed him to the hospital in the vehicle of engineer Chinaka Jesse, their neighbor. Unfortunately, he was pronounced dead on arrival at Kura Bed Hospital, Lekki. Not convinced, the team moved his body to Perez on the development, came to the late Mohbad's house, and after a short meeting, resolved to move the body to Ikorodu for burial, which was done the following day. Bullying, assault, and possible complicity in the death of Mohbad by Sam Larry and Naira Marley. During investigation, series of allegations of bullying, threat to life, and possible complicity him to widen the scope of their investigation to that aspect. Several videos touching on the allegations were analyzed and witnesses were interviewed. Many of the witnesses earlier listed, as the 26 witnesses, found that sometime in 2019, the deceased was allegedly signed by Naira Marley into a record label known as Malian Music Limited. Due to disagreement in terms of the contract, the deceased pressed for to hide the suspects, who in consequence allegedly severally conspired, bullied, and assaulted the deceased. It was also asserted by some witnesses with corroborative video evidence in the death of Mohbad by pleading an alibi that they were both out of the country when the incident occurred. And they were not in any. There are preponderant of evidence linking both Naira Marley and Sam Larry to the allegations of Aloba, aka Mohbad, occurred between 10th to 13th, who as an auxiliary nurse administered multiple and highly potent injections, which triggered an immediate reaction that eventually occasioned the death of Mohbad, is the principal suspect in the homicide case. Feisayo Gelebe is responsible for the chain reactions and eventual death of Mohbad at 15:43 hours on 12 September 2023. The time within which auxiliary nurse Ogelegbe administered the injections on Mohbad, through his reactions, convulsion, and eventually 15:43 hours when Mohbad was confirmed dead at Kuramed Hospital. Aside her admittance to the consequences of her actions and limitations as an auxiliary nurse, by administering intravenously cetrazone on the deceased, and that this, from their review, was the most likely cause of the anaphylactic reaction, which could have been promptly resolved and his death possibly prevented if the disease was treated in the hospital. Ibrahim Mohbad, as the injury that culminated in actions which led to his death was sustained in the course of physical combat between him and Mohbad. Ayobami Sodiq Splendid is also considered complicit in the homicide case for inviting Feisayo Gedegbe, whom he knew to be an unqualified and unregistered nurse, to administer the potent medications that eventually trigger reactions leading to Mohbad's death. While Abdulaziz Fashola, Naira Marley, and Samson Balogun Samlari denied allegations of criminal liability in the death of Mohbad and pleaded an alibi to justify their not being complicit in the incidents that occurred from 10 to 12 September 2023. There are ample electronic and credible witnesses evidence linking them to cyberbullying and cyberstalking, threat to life, assaults, occasioning harm, and conduct likely to cause breach of the peace against the deceased in his lifetime, as well as the alleged assaults on Mohbad in October 2022 around the residence of Naira Marley at Lekki. Samlari admitted that he had multiple physical confrontations with Mohbad to get him to refund the 2 million naira which he claimed he paid to the late singer for a show which he claimed he did not honor. There are documentary evidence, international travel records, confirming that both Abdulaziz Fashola, Naira Marley, and Samson Balogun Eletu Samlari were not in Lagos, Nigeria, when the events that directly led to Mohbad's death occurred between 10th to 12th September 2023. While Naira Marley was out of the country from 21st August to 3rd October when he reported and was arrested, when he returned and was arrested, demise of the deceased, his remains were buried at Ikorodu by his relatives on 13th September 2023, prior to the uproar that greeted his death and which informed the launch of the homicide investigation. On 21st September 2023, the corpse was exhumed, and on same date at about 16:00 hours, autopsy was performed on the remains of the deceased, and vital specimens were taken and sent to Lagos State DNA and Forensic Center for toxicology examination. The reports are still being awaited. Also being awaited is the official response from NDLEA on one of the viral videos containing allegations by the singer on his experience as toxicology tests are being awaited. Substantial grounds have been covered well enough by the special investigation team to support the processing of the case file to the Director of Public Prosecution. Consequently, the case file is being duplicated and forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution for vetting and legal advice, the outcome of which will inform further investigation, investigative actions, and prosecution. While reassuring that the command will sustain its firm determination to ensure justice in this case, I wish to assure that the members of the public will be availed of any further development in relation to the outcome of the autopsy and toxicology reports, DPP advice, feedback from NDLEA, and any other developments in the investigation into this case. I thank you for your coverage.
Thank you very much for coming. Ordinarily, this should be question and answer segment.
I need more than 10
The report is comprehensive enough.
Go to the toilet, keep quiet.
this man.
Thank you.
Madam, can you bring down your phone, please? Bros, you are too close. Bros, you are too close. Thank you.
So we just finished the live when the CP of Lagos State, the Commissioner of Police, addressed the press over the investigation which they don't conduct over the death of Mohbad, ẹlẹri, wey died on 12 September. Then the police talk say the prime suspect, that the nurse, the auxiliary nurse, wey treat am for im house, and they don dey conduct their investigation as they don arrest the other 5 suspects, and they don present 26 witnesses. Don say the medication wey the prime suspect administer for the prime suspect administer for the disease, na im triggers some of the reaction wey be say cause make dey vomit, wey also cause make get goosebumps and convulsion. And after all this, dem later carry am go hospital, but the disease give up for inside car, and na for there they declare say he don die. So they don also yes.